Okay, everybody, before we continue, I want to posit a theory concerning uh, the of spirits and of demons. I believe this comes up when he's talking about the different bad angels and their modus operandi or whatever he's talking about, right? And one of the bad angels is he knows the secrets or something of the spirits and of the demons. So I want to posit a theory onto what that means. Um, so I'm thinking, think about this golden image thing, right? This is a man who judges other men based off of material wealth. And I think according to Enoch, a man like that would have a withered heart, right? Because Enoch is, despite uh, well, I mean, you can debate that because I mean, this is a righteous man, right? But to Enoch, he's gonna constantly go back to the heart and a golden image. To judge another man based on their material wealth would be a withered heart, I think, to him. Um, but so here's where the spirits and demons comes in, right? Because a golden image is a demonic heart that is being portrayed as a luminary, right? As something that is admirable. Oh, it is admirable to hate on the po' boy. That would be blasphemous to love in Enoch's language, I believe. So this idea of I think of spirits and of demons refers to um, refers back to this heaven and hell thing I keep doing, right? Um, Enoch has a very specific view of God and a very specific view of heaven, and another way to look at this of spirits, because you could think of different examples maybe, and funny examples really welcome. Uh, Again, we don't have to worry about being wrong. We have to try to figure out what Enoch is trying to say. Um, but one example that I can think of would be the Protestant work ethic. If you compare the Protestant work ethic to Enoch's Lord of Spirits, well, then the Protestant work ethic uh, would be against the Lord of Spirits. Oh my God! like the Protestant work ethic is totally against the Lord of Spirits. And so what Enoch would say I believe he would say that the Protestant work ethic is the sanctification of slavery. Uh, and so I think that's what he means by of the spirits and of the demons, to portray a demonic heart as a loving heart. I mean, this goes back to betrayal. For someone to come up to you and say they love you and they don't. That is the spirit of love with a demonic heart, maybe. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? We're coming to the end here, though. Woe to you sinners when you die in your sins, and they who are like you saying respecting you, blessed are these sinners. They have lived out their whole period, and now they die in happiness and in wealth. Distress and slaughter they knew not while alive. In honor they die, nor ever in their lifetime did judgment overtake them. But has it not been shown to them that when to the receptacle of the dead their souls shall be made to descend, their evil deeds shall become their greatest torment? Oh, I already read that. Oh, here's the marker. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. I swear to you, ye righteous, that in heaven the angels record your goodness before the glory of the Mighty One. Wait with patient hope, for formerly you have been disgraced with evil and with affliction, but now shall you shine like the luminaries of heaven. You shall be seen, and the gates of heaven shall be opened to you. Your cries have been judged. Your cries have cried for judgment. And it has appeared to you, for on account of all your sufferings shall be required from the princes and from everyone who has assisted your plunderers. Wait with patient hope, nor relinquish your confidence, for great joy shall be yours, like that of the angels in heaven. Conduct yourselves as you may, still you shall not be concealed in the day of the great judgment. You shall not be found like sinners, and eternal condemnation shall be far from you, so long as the world exists. And now fear not, ye righteous, when you see sinners flourishing and prosperous in their ways. Be not associates with them, but keep yourselves at a distance from their oppression. Be you associated with the host of heaven. You, ye sinners, say, all our transgressions shall not be taken account of and be recorded, but all your transgressions shall be recorded daily. And be assured by me that light and darkness, day and night, behold all your transgressions. Be not impious in your thoughts. Lie not, surrender not the word of uprightness. Lie not against the word of the Holy and the Mighty One. Glorify not your idols, for all your lying and all your impiety is not for righteousness, but for great crime. Now will I point out a mystery. Many sinners shall turn and transgress against the word of uprightness. They shall speak evil things, they shall utter falsehood, execute great undertakings, and compose books in their own words. But when they shall write all my words correctly in their own languages. See, so he's challenged, this is like he's constantly challenging us correctly, right? This is a word game to him. They shall neither change nor diminish them, but shall write them all correctly, all of which from the first I have uttered concerning them. So again, like, and this is also this book as the great hero, right? I mean, Enoch here has won the Mesopotamian game, and I think he has. Like, this is the first time reading him, but he's now my favorite writer. Like, this man's on fire. You can feel his energy. Let's see. Another mystery also I point out. To the righteous and the wise shall be given books of joy, of integrity, and of great wisdom. To them shall books be given in which they shall believe, and in which they shall rejoice. And all the righteous shall be rewarded, who from these shall acquire the knowledge of every upright path. In those days, saith the Lord, they shall call to the children of the earth and make them listen to their wisdom. Show them that you are their leaders, and that their remuneration shall take place over the whole earth. For I and my Son will forever hold communion with them in the paths of uprightness, while they are still alive. Peace shall be yours. Rejoice, children of integrity and truth. Okay, so this I and my Son thing, like, I mean, to me, this is totally coming from what's about to happen with Noah, right? The way, like, what you'll see here with Noah is that the ways of Noah are different than the ways of his father, and his father Lamech and his grandfather Methuselah. And what that means is that, at one point he criticizes Abel, but then at another point he is praising the unrighteous for their integrity. Like, they suffered and they toiled and they were oppressed, but they did not give in, and that is their glory, right? So he criticizes Abel. By saying that Abel's ways are not God's ways. So this my son thing is generation. And so this my son thing, I think, it refers possibly to a high priest. But I mean, it also goes back to the beginning with an intimate relationship. In that, I think what Enoch would say is that if anyone could come to unseal these books if they wanted to, anyone could come to the knowledge, even without these books. Anyone could come to the knowledge of that righteousness is the way of God. So this my son thing, like the scientist and the poet are going to come in and just totally fuck up this thing, and they'll start to get angry. But this is really hermetic language, in that I think God has generated Noah's ways. There's also I really do think there's a joke here, because Lamesh is really concerned that this isn't his son, that Noah is not his son. And so, I mean, Enoch calls Noah his son, and God is calling Noah, because Noah is the one who has the proper ways of God. And since he has the proper ways of God, he has been generated by God. I think that is what is going on here with this my son stuff. And we'll see it here. Like he says it here, and then we're going to see what I'm talking about. So I think there's like just a dirty, funny joke. I mean, again, this is a light-hearted man, not not a Puritan. Um, and like I keep seeing this in truth thing, and this seems to be like a sly little thing, right? Because truth comes from the heart; it does not come from the mouth. But that, I mean, is more better understood in Moses. And it's probably really well understood in here if we understood every word like he challenges us to. Um, so you definitely, that's what I see with this whole my son stuff. This is hermetic language, and it's talking about to generate. Um, and if a man generates your ways, then he is your father. So that is what is going on here. After a time, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamesh. She became pregnant by him, and brought forth a child, the flesh of which was as white as snow, and as red as a rose, the hair of whose head was white like wool, and long, and whose eyes were beautiful. When he opened them, he illuminated all the house, like the sun. The whole house abounded with light. And when he was taken from the hand of the midwife, opening also his mouth, he spoke to the Lord of righteousness. Then Lamech his father was afraid of him, and flying away came to his own father Methuselah, and said, I have begotten a son, unlike to other children. He is not human, but resembling the offspring of the angels of heaven, is of a different nature from ours, being altogether unlike to us. His eyes are bright as the rays of the sun, his countenance glorious, and he looks not as if he belonged to me, but to the angels. I am afraid lest something miraculous should take place on earth in his days. And now, my father, let me entreat and request you to go to our progenitor Enoch, and to learn from him the truth, for his residence is with the angels, right? Like, they don't know where he is. When Methuselah heard the words of his son, he came to me at the extremities of the earth, for he had been informed that I was there, and he cried out. See, he doesn't, like, he knows the general direction, and he cried out, I heard his voice and went to him, saying, Behold, I am here, my son, since thou art come to me. I love this guy. He answered and said, On account of a great event have I come to thee, and on account of a sight difficult to be comprehended have I approached thee. And now, my father, hear me, for to my son Lamesh a child has been born who resembles not him, and whose nature is not like the nature of man. His color is whiter than snow, he is redder than a rose, the hair of his head is whiter than wool. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and when he opened them, he illuminated the whole house. When also he was taken from the hand of the midwife, he opened his mouth and blessed the Lord of heaven. His father Lamesh feared and fled to me, believing not that the child belonged to him, but that he resembled the angels of heaven. And behold, I am come to thee, that thou mightest point out to me the truth. Then I, Enoch, answered and said, The Lord will effect a new thing upon the earth. This have I explained and seen in a vision. So it's like, I already told you this, dumbass. But that's underneath the text, I think, maybe. I have shown thee in that that in the generation of Jared my father, those who were from heaven disregarded the word of the Lord. Behold, they committed crimes, laid aside their class, and intermingled with women. With them also they transgressed, married with them, and begot children. A great destruction therefore shall come upon all the earth. A deluge, a great destruction shall take place in 1 year. This child which is born to you shall survive on the earth, and his 3 sons shall be saved with him. When all mankind who on earth shall die, he shall be safe. And his posterity shall beget on the earth giants, not spiritual, but carnal. Upon the earth shall a great punishment be inflicted, and it shall be washed from all corruption. Now therefore inform thy son Lamesh, that he who is born is his child in truth, and he shall call his name Noah, for he shall be to you a survivor. He and his children shall be saved from the corruption which shall take place in the world, for from all the sin and from all the iniquity which shall be consummated on earth in his days. Afterwards shall greater impiety take place than that which had been before consummated on the earth. For I am acquainted with the holy mysteries which the Lord himself has discovered and explained to me, and which I have read in the tablets of heaven. In them I saw it written that generation after generation shall transgress until a righteous race shall arise, until transgression and crime perish from off the earth, until all goodness come of it. And now, my son Lamesh, go tell thy son, and now, my son, go tell thy son Lamesh, that the child which is born is his child in truth, and that there is no deception. When Methuselah heard the word of his father, Enoch, who had shown him every secret thing, he returned with understanding and called the name of that child Noah, seeing, because he was to console the earth on account of all its destruction. Another book which Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah, and for those who should come after him, and preserve their purity of conduct in the latter days. You who have labored shall wait in those days until the evildoers be consumed, and the power of the guilty annihilated. Wait until sin pass away, for their names shall be blotted out of the holy books. Their seed shall be destroyed, and their spirit slain. They shall cry out and lament in the invisible waste, and in the bottomless fire shall they burn. There I perceived as it were a cloud which could not be seen through, for from the depth of it I was unable to look upwards. I beheld also a flame of fire blazing brightly, and as it were glittering mountains whirled around, and agitated from side to side. Then I inquired of one of the holy angels who was with me, and said, What is this splendid object? For it is not heaven, but a flame of fire alone which blazes, and in it there is the clamor of exclamation of woe and of great suffering. He said, There into that place which thou beholdest shall be thrust the spirits of sinners and of blasphemers, of those who shall do evil, and who shall pervert all which God has spoken by the mouth of the prophets, all which they ought to do. For respecting these things there shall be writings and impressions above in heaven, that the angels may read them, and know what shall happen both to sinners and to the spirits of the humble. Right? So if you're reading this Book of Enoch, then you're kind of like an angel, right? To those who have suffered in their bodies but have been rewarded by God, who have been injuriously treated by wicked men, who have loved God, who have been attached neither to gold nor silver, nor to any good thing in the world, but have given their bodies to torment, to those who from the period of their birth have not been covetous of earthly riches, but have regarded themselves as a breath passing away. Such has been their conduct, and much has the Lord tried them, and their spirits have been found pure, that they might bless his name. All their blessings have I related in a book, and he has rewarded them, for they have been found to love heaven with an everlasting aspiration. God has said, while they have been trodden down by the wicked men, they have heard from them revilings and blasphemies, and have been ignominiously treated, while they were blessing me. And now will I call the spirits of the good from the generation of light, and will change those who have been born in darkness, who have not in their bodies been recompensed with glory as their faith may have merited. I will bring them into the splendid light of those who love my holy name, and I will place each of them on a throne of glory peculiarly his own. And they shall be at rest during innumbered periods. Righteous is the judgment of God, for to the faithful shall he give faith in the habitations of uprightness. They shall see those who have been born in darkness unto darkness shall be cast, while the righteous shall be at rest. Sinners shall cry out, beholding them, while they exist in splendor, and proceed forward to the days and periods prescribed to them. Here ends the vision of Enoch the prophet. May the benediction of his prayer and the gift of his appointed period be with his beloved. Amen. So he ends it with love, right? That's Enoch. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I think like at the end there, like it was very clear what he was saying. Now, if I had to place Enoch in history, I think I heard one time about the early Aramaeans, and I swear somebody was showing one of their writings and reading it. And I was listening to one of their writings, and they were talking about merit. They were talking about overthrowing the Mesopotamian kings because they're a bunch of spoiled bitches. The language that was being used with these early Aramaeans seems to be very similar to the language that we hear in this book. So, there's definitely some sort of thought connection to this Book of Enoch, and I'm not an expert in the early Aramaic history. I don't even know if it's the early Aramaeans that guy was reading from. But there were like these freedom fighters that were going around Mesopotamia at one point, and these freedom fighters really did seem to have the same message as Enoch. So there's some sort of intellectual connection, I would think, in that maybe Enoch came before, and these guys read his book and understood it, and went out to try to enact it, for freedom. Über freedom. Or he was at the center of it, right? So we could place him right there at the center of these Aramaic rabble rousings. Or maybe he came after and was inspired by it. But there is some sort of intellectual connection. But there's also intellectual connection between Enoch and Moses and Samuel as I read them. We'll get into Moses and Samuel some other time. But, I mean, I'm seeing Moses and Samuel all over Enoch right here. Um, so there's, I mean, again, the connection could just be purely accidental. Like, again, Enoch could have been whenever. This could be the actual Enoch. Um, but, do, 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 do. Um, yeah, no, it could be accidental, I mean, Enoch could be calling for freedom, and those early Aramaeans could have been calling for freedom, and it was just two different times. So, I mean, intellectual proof is circumstantial, I think. But I think it would also be fun to place Enoch within that early Aramaic movement. Um, there's also at one point he mentions the Parthians and the Medes. So you could possibly place Enoch in the ear of Cyrus the Great, right? Because this is some ninja stuff here, I think. Just like Moses and Samuel are both, they teach a ninja philosophy. This is a different type of religious leader. Um, and so, I don't know. I had fun with this book, though. um, I did, and I'm interested out there to see what you guys think about anything I have to say. And again, it's all about what Enoch means, right? Um, and so let's try to. I think I've done a good job unsealing parts of this. Um, I mean, I would read there, and I would assume that you guys were understanding some of the things that I was saying from my explanations from before. So I wasn't providing explanations. At other times I was reading, it was completely sealed to me. Um, so I don't know. What do you guys think? But I've had fun with this. My name is Enrique Zoltano, and this is the Book of Enoch.